Hi fam, welcome back to my channel. This is Ndaya J, and in today's video we're going to be using the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. Now this is going to be the first time using this palette and it didn't disappoint. This look is very feminine, very good. I feel it's perfect for everyday wear, for events. So let's jump right in. As I said, it's the first time using the palette and I just want to show you what it looks like. It's a very beautiful understated palette. You've got like pinky purples, you've got orange in there, you've got yellow, you've got some really beautiful shimmer shadows. Natasha Denona is really known for her shimmer shadows, so we're going to be playing with that as well. So the first thing I'm doing is just prepping my brows, and I'm using the Ofra Don't Play Brow Gel. This is definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite brow product, just because it keeps my brows laminated. It looks perfect, just out of the way for the makeup, which I love. And then I'm using the Plouise base in 2.5, and then I'm going into the darkest shadow in the Natasha Denona palette. The look itself is very self-explanatory. I started from the outer corner, building my way in, and every time I pack a shadow, I just go in with the lighter shade just to slightly blend it out, just so that you don't see any harsh lines. Like you can see here, I'm using this like pinky shadow to blend out the fresh shadow that I applied, and I'm just taking my time to really blend that out, and I'm using a fluffy blending brush to do this. And once I'm happy going back and forth, you can see I brought that all the way in. I'm applying the NYX Glitter Adhesive because I want to use one of the shimmer shadows. And I like to use the NYX Glitter Adhesive when I'm not sure how a shimmer product applies, just because I do have creasing lids and sometimes my eyelids sweat, so I kind of need a little bit more reinforcement. So that shadow is really pretty, very iridescent. Actually looks like a glitter shadow, but it is not. It is a full shimmer shadow, and that's literally it so far. And then for my face, I'm using the Mary Kay primer. I love this. My foundation sit really nicely on that primer. And then I'm mixing the Infallible and the True Match foundations, mixing them together just to get a really nice shade. And I actually quite like the coverage of this. It kind of gives me like a luminous but full coverage effect, which is what I was going for. To do this, I used a flat top kabuki brush to apply. And then concealer is the Laura Mercier concealer. I love this concealer because it's not too yellow. It does have like a more neutral finish, which sometimes you kind of just don't want the overly yellow under eye. So I'm applying this all over my under eye, my chin and nose area, and I'm just gonna let that sit and then blend it out. And I'm using a beauty sponge to blend this. And then once that's fully blended, I'm just going to go ahead and set it with my powder. And to be honest, with the Laura Mercier concealer, I don't feel like I need to use a lot of powder to set it, just because of how flawless the finish is, and it kind of just dries quite nicely. So I'm using the Pat McGrath setting powder, and I'm just going to push that product into my under eye area as opposed to baking with it, because as I said, the Laura Mercier concealer kind of doesn't need too much powder to set it in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Ofra um, Face It palette in Deep. This has quickly become one of my favorite face products. So I'm using it to carve out my cheekbones, to give some definition to my face, and just make sure that I've got warmth in areas that I need, like my forehead, my cheekbone area. I'll bring it down my jaw area as well. And then I'm applying that P. Louise base on my lower lash line because I do want to go there with some shadow, just to give it a little bit more continuation from the eye. So once I've applied that, I'm just going to apply the shade that I used in my outer corner, and I'm going to pack that on the lower lash line, and I'm using a pencil brush to do this. With a pencil brush, you kind of just want to go back and forth little by little. You also don't want to pack on too much product so that you don't mess up your base. So I was taking a little bit of product at a time. And then this time I'm going in with the orange shadow to just blend out the lower lash line. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm using the Revolution Pro CC powder. I love this powder, perfect for my skin tone. And then I'm using the Revlon So Fierce liner and I'm popping that in my waterline. All the products that I use will be listed in the description box. I'm also using it to line my lower lash line just so that when I pop on my mascara, you can actually see the color of the liner and it just pops out really nicely. So this is the newer Revolution mascara, and to be honest, I'm not a fan of this mascara. Initially, it was really good. It gave my lashes volume, but then over time, it just kind of irritates my eyes. So it isn't one that I am a fan of. I prefer the 5D mascara, to be honest. And then for blush, I'm using the Ofra blush palette, just popping some color on my cheekbones, just that complements the look on the eyes. And then I'm just setting my face with the Morphe setting mist. This is more or less to settle down the powder, not to prolong my makeup, but just to settle down the powder. And then this one is like a flash from the past. This is the ABH Glow Kit, and I'm popping that shimmer shadow on, not shimmer shadow, the highlighter on my cheekbones. I really love how luminous it looks. It blends right into my skin quite nicely. It doesn't look chunky, doesn't look dusty or anything. I absolutely love it. Lining my lips with lip pencil from Gerard Cosmetics in Night Shift. I love this. It's such a pretty color. And then I'm using the Makeup Revolution lip vinyl in Chauffeur, I believe it's called. But yeah, this is the finished look. The Natasha Denona palette, as I said, it didn't disappoint me. I am very familiar with her eyeshadow palettes, and so far I am a huge fan. I love easy, quick eyeshadow palettes, and this one is one of the easiest palettes to use. You can create so many looks, you don't have to put in too much effort, so I do love it for that. And yeah, I'm a fan of it. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Definitely let me know if you've got this palette in your collection and what you think about it. And yeah, I'll catch you in a future video. Remember, God doesn't like ugly. Be nice to someone today, and Black Lives will always matter. And I'll catch you in a future one. Bye.